Unlock your potential with a comprehensive suite of investing tools and expert education with GammaEdge. Start your free 14-day trial today. There's a series of if-thens that go to this. So first of all, the important thing is we're above it, right? So whether we're above or below would determine how you develop your if-thens. But because this is now a put-dominated, so single expiry, right, 831, you can see you have 16,000 puts, 7,600 calls, single expiry, so you can do the OI analysis pretty easily. And it's relevant, right? It's not like turning everything on. It's just you're isolated to a single day. And so you know this strike is put dominated, no question about it. And you can see that here in the negative gamma because of the put domination, short dated, single dated, of course. And then the delta is because it's significantly larger than the calls, even though it's out of the money. So this is an in the money put area below the yellow line, right? So, or excuse me, in the money call area. So all of these calls are in the money. So their deltas are greater, equal or greater than 50. The puts, the deltas are less than or equal to 50, minus 0.5, minus 0.4, minus 0.3. But because there's so many puts here, that's why this delta is negative. So we've got a negative delta and negative gamma, and the negative gamma is indicated right here. So what's going to happen throughout the day, right? So first of all, we're going to open up tomorrow, and if we open up and we're above this level, this will remain out of the money. And all things considered, we have to believe that the dealers are hedged, that as a static value, it has really no relevance on the market at the open. We have to believe that they've compensated overnight, and this isn't a big deal. Now, what's going to happen is if price remains stationary and we're not moving up and down the strike chain, we're not moving closer to this thing, we're not moving further away from this thing, because this is an out of the money put, it's going to start decaying all day long, right? So it's getting less negative, more positive, and so our book is getting longer, dealer's book's getting shorter, and as a result, the dealer's going to buy. From a charm perspective, that's going to have an upward pressure on us, or we believe that will put an upward pressure on us. Now, of course, this structure will change in the morning. We don't have the updates yet for the morning, so whatever happened to this, we'll see it in the morning, and we'll get a better clear. But again, the process that I'm applying here is the process you guys and gals, should be applying every time you look at these charts. So you see something stand out like a sore thumb, get into your detective mode and what is going to happen if we're in context of moneyness, and get into the mode of if this, then that, right? So if price remains stationary, what are the charm effects of these big strikes? So the charm effect is that this thing's going to cause our book to get longer, dealer book to get shorter, we're going to get buying, and that's going to push us upward. Where could we go? Well, here we have a nodal change in the deltas. And so this, again, it's going to change in the morning, but this is indicating 45.40 to 45.45. So this is showing that we have a pretty clear runway without much interference right now up to that zone. Could it change in the morning? Absolutely. Can it change with the vol D command? Absolutely. But it does show that we could get some movement up, and because of the gamma that we have in here, we could get some acceleration, right? We could see some pushing as we go up until we finally hit a reverse in the delta. We'll need more calls up here, right in this area, before, and these puts to, everybody to start panicking here that they're losing their in the money status, and we'll need that in order to move higher and convert this over. Now, that's if nothing really changes. What happens if price starts drifting down and we also make this thing in the money? This is where things get a little bit interesting, I think. So if we open tomorrow, for instance, below 4,500 and we're down below this thing, this is now, because it's a put dominated strike, and we know it's a put dominated strike. There's no ambiguity on this. So we know it's a put dominated in the money strike. And so what's going to happen at the open and we're opening down in this area, is that its delta is automatically going to start greater than minus 0.5. So minus 0.5, minus 0.55, minus 0.6, etc. in the money. And the charm effects on this thing, as long as it remains in the money, are going to be pushing our book more negative. If we're pushing our book negative, we're pushing the dealer's book positive by a fairly significant amount. And as a result of that, the dealer is going to sell, and that's going to put downward pressure on this area. But look what's in play here. We have nothing but positive deltas here, which means there's no dominance of all of these puts that you see here are in the minority, because remember, their delta levels are smaller. By definition, they're out of the money. They're less than 0.5. They're 0.4, 0.3, 0.2, 0.1. And so what's happening is they're in the minority, and that's allowing these deltas to be positive. And when these deltas are positive, these things throughout the day, just due to their charm flow, are going to continue exerting upward pressure. You've got like a bobber, and even though you're trying to push down because this thing's growing, you've got all this support that's coming in from all of these calls all day long, which is counterbalancing this thing, right? So it's going to be really, really tough to get any depth down in a collapse of the markets tomorrow. Although you can see clearly how it could happen if we opened below this thing. So I think, Tom, to kind of put a final note on this, I think this is going to be a repulsive force in either direction, but it's counterbalanced by the positive deltas tomorrow. To the north, it's just a pure speculation, right? We could run all the way up here in this area, and then if we get people who are more speculators with the out of the money calls, they could start pounding these deltas into submission and turning them positive, and that could actually open up a runway. And if you take a look, here at September 1st, you can see where we're at. It's already opening up 45.70. And we've got pretty strong gammas in there, and you can see what's happening. And we're flipping the 4,500 on, and this, it's also got the COI for Friday and into the weekend. So we're in a really good structure for support through the rest of the week. And here, let me add both these together. Really good structure for support. I don't think we're going to collapse. I don't see any indication of being able to collapse. And I think we have limited runway to the upside that actually improves depending on what the market sentiment is going to be for tomorrow. So we'll see what happens.